right, let's dive into a real head-scratcher. This one's from 1965, the Sheffield UFO Incident.
Yeah.
So picture this. Cold War tensions. It's just an ordinary day in Sheffield, England.
Right.
And then, bam, something totally bizarre happens up in the sky.
Yeah, a lot of people saw it.
Tons of eyewitness accounts.
Right. Yeah, I mean...
We're talking police officers,
Secrets.
firefighters, regular folks just like you and me.
Average people going about their day.
All saying they saw something truly strange.
Yeah, that's what makes this case so interesting.
Yeah.
Not just because there are so many witnesses.
Right.
It's that their descriptions line up so well.
How interesting.
Many of them said they saw this big, metallic, cigar-shaped object.
Cigar-shaped, okay.
Just hovering silently over the city.
No way. Silently.
Yep, no sound.
That's what really gets me when I read those accounts. That detail about the silence.
Yeah.
It adds this whole other layer of weirdness, you know?
Right.
Like, if it were a normal plane, there'd be engine noise.
Right. Exactly. You'd expect to hear something.
Right.
But nothing. Total silence. It makes you think about what could make something fly like that back then.
Oh, for sure.
It suggests some pretty advanced technology and maybe something we didn't even know about back then.
So what are we talking, like some secret tech that could make things fly without making a peep?
Some theorists even suggest, crazy stuff like magnetic fields or even anti-gravity.
Anti-gravity, wow. It's like we're talking science fiction, but this is based on what people actually said they saw.
Exactly.
But you said there were some differences in the details, right?
Yeah, so while most people agreed on the shape and the silence, some details didn't quite match up.
Like what?
The lights, for instance. Some said they saw bright flashing lights.
Okay.
Others saw strange markings, maybe symbols or patterns. It's tricky. Those differences could just be because of where people were standing when they saw it.
Right.
Or the lighting, maybe even just the shock of seeing something so strange.
It's like how your brain makes sense of things, you know?
It can play tricks on you.
Absolutely. So we've got lots of believable witnesses.
Yeah.
They mostly agree on the main thing, but there are these little differences that make you go, wait a minute.
Right.
So what did the authorities do about this huge unexplained event?
Well, you'd expect the Royal Air Force to investigate something like this.
Of course.
And they did.
Right.
But in the end, they basically said they couldn't say for sure what it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they chalked it up to things like mistaken aircraft, weather balloons, stuff like that.
I mean, that just feels too simple given how many people saw it and how specific their descriptions were.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to remember, this was the Cold War.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Things were tense.
Yeah.
Unexplained stuff in the sky could really freak people out.
For sure.
If the government admitted they had no clue what was going on, it would just make things worse.
So it's like classic cover-up vibes then, right?
You could say that.
Okay, so let's look at the theories themselves.
Sure.
If we put those official explanations aside for a moment, what else could it be?
All right, well, there's a whole range of ideas, each with its pros and cons.
Yeah.
Skeptics often point to misidentified aircraft.
Oh, like maybe some new experimental plane that people just didn't recognize.
Exactly, or something unusual in the atmosphere, like temperature inversions.
Oh, yeah. Those can mess with how things look, right?
Absolutely, create illusion.
But then you've got those accounts that just don't fit with those explanations. Like witnesses describing the object moving in ways no known aircraft could.
Yeah, things that seem impossible. And that's where the more intriguing, maybe even controversial theories come in.
Right, so what are we talking about here?
Maybe it was a top secret military project, some experimental craft the government was hiding.
Ah, okay, I see. I guess we can't just ignore the alien theory, can we?
The idea of aliens visiting Earth has always been a fascinating one.
Right, it's like, is there other life out there?
And for many, it's the only way to explain how strange and impossible events like this seem to be.
It's tempting to go there.
Yeah.
But we got to be careful.
Oh, absolutely. Extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence.
So maybe we don't have all the answers right now, but that doesn't mean we stop looking.
That's right.
We explore all the possibilities, we weigh the evidence.
Yeah.
And we stay open to the idea that there might be more to the universe than we think.
Exactly.
And speaking of exploring, Sheffield wasn't alone.
Right.
South Yorkshire has a whole history of UFO sightings.
Oh, yeah, it's a hotspot.
Before and after 1965.
Like in 1957, just a few years before the Sheffield incident, multiple people near Rotherham saw a bright disc-shaped thing hovering in a field.
Wait, Rotherham, isn't that close to Sheffield?
Yeah, not far at all.
Okay, so they saw this bright disc, and what, did it make any noise?
They said it was incredibly bright and hummed, almost blinding, they said.
Humming. So not silent like the one in Sheffield.
No, this one made a sound.
So maybe we're talking about different things happening here.
Could be. Each case has its own quirks. We need to look at them separately.
Right, and we can't just lump everything together as UFOs.
Yeah.
Might be more complicated than that.
Yeah, we need to be careful about jumping to conclusions.
But it's still pretty weird that all these reports are clustered in one area, isn't it?
Absolutely. It makes you wonder if there's something special about South Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the geography or something we haven't even thought of yet.
Now it's getting really interesting, like we're peeling back layers of a mystery and finding more questions than answers.
Maybe that's the appeal of the Sheffield incident and UFOs in general.
Yeah?
They make us realize how much we don't know and remind us that there might be way more to the universe than we currently understand.
Okay, so we've talked about the what, but now I want to talk about the who.
Right.
What about the people who actually saw these things? How did it affect them?
Yeah, that's a great point. We can't forget that every UFO report is about a person who saw something that really affected them.
Right, it's not just a story in a book.
Yeah, it's something that changed their lives and how they see the world.
I guess it's easy to get caught up in all the science and theories.
Yeah.
But we can't forget about the human side of things.
Right.
So how did all this affect the people in South Yorkshire?
Well, it affected them in different ways. Some people said they felt scared or anxious after seeing these things.
Right.
Some even felt like they didn't belong anymore.
That makes sense. Like, imagine seeing something that totally changes how you understand the world.
Right. It would mess with you.
Did any of this lead to bigger cultural changes in the area?
Oh, yeah, for sure. South Yorkshire has this kind of mystique now, this feeling that anything is possible.
Interesting.
All those UFO sightings have become part of the local culture.
I see.
You see it in their art, their music, even their tourism.
Really? UFO tourism?
Yeah, people come to see where it all happened. It's like the community has embraced the whole UFO thing.
And turned it into something positive.
Exactly. They're not afraid of the unknown anymore.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so we've talked about the official explanations, the skeptics, and the more out there theories.
Right.
But what about the witnesses themselves? Did they say anything that could help us figure out what these things were?
Actually, there's something interesting. A lot of reports, not just from Sheffield, but all over South Yorkshire, mention losing track of time or feeling disoriented during the encounter.
Like they just blanked out for a bit.
Yeah, sort of. Researchers call these high strangeness cases.
High strangeness, huh? What does that mean?
It means it's not just a simple sighting. There's something more complex going on, something that might even be psychological.
Okay, so this is getting even weirder now.
It suggests that we might be dealing with something that goes beyond our current understanding of physics and technology.
So it's not just a super advanced plane or a weird weather phenomenon.
Right. It could be something totally different.
So is this high strangeness only in South Yorkshire?
No, researchers have found similar cases all over the world.
So it's not just a local thing.
Right. It seems to be a pattern that happens everywhere.
That makes it even more important to investigate this, right?
Absolutely. It suggests a bigger, maybe even global phenomenon.
Yeah, something that deserves serious scientific attention.
Exactly. And even though we don't have all the answers yet, just looking for them is important.
It's like the journey is just as important as the destination.
It drives scientific progress, helps us understand the universe better, and makes us question what we think we know.
It's also worth noting that many of these high strangeness reports include encounters with beings, not just objects.
Right, it's not just seeing something in the sky. Some people say they've interacted with beings.
So we're talking about alien contact.
Yeah, that's a big part of UFO stories. And while we should be skeptical, we shouldn't just ignore these accounts.
I guess it brings up that big question. Are we alone in the universe?
Right, and if we're not, what happens when we meet other intelligent life?
That's a pretty deep question.
It's a question that's been around for a long time.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago that people thought the idea of other worlds was crazy.
And now we know there are planets everywhere.
Yeah, makes you wonder what other crazy ideas might turn out to be true in the future.
That's what's so cool about science. Things that seemed impossible can become common knowledge.
Right, like smartphones or the internet.
Exactly. We should always be open to new possibilities.
So even though we may not be able to fully explain what happened in South Yorkshire, just exploring these events is valuable.
Absolutely.
It makes us think critically, encourages scientific inquiry, and makes us appreciate the mysteries of the universe.
And as we continue to look into these mysteries, we might find things that not only teach us more about the universe, but also change how we see our place in it.
Okay, so we haven't really talked about the technology behind these UFOs.
Right.
Is there anything in the witness accounts that could tell us about how they might work?
It's hard to say for sure based on what people said because memories can be unreliable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But there are some common themes in UFO reports from all over the world.
Like what?
People often describe seeing objects that move incredibly fast, make sharp turns, and even seem to defy gravity.
That's pretty wild.
Some researchers think this points to some kind of advanced technology that we don't understand yet.
So what kind of technology are we talking about?
Well, one idea is field propulsion, where the object somehow manipulates gravity or electromagnetic fields to move around.
Whoa, that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, but remember, things that seem impossible now might be normal in the future.
That's true. We can't dismiss ideas just because they sound crazy.
Exactly.
Okay, so back to South Yorkshire. Is there anything about that specific area that could explain these UFO sightings?
Researchers have been wondering about that for years.
So what are some of the ideas?
Some people think certain geological formations, like those with a lot of quartz, could create electromagnetic weirdness that might look like UFOs.
Oh, so maybe it's not aliens, but something to do with the Earth itself.
Maybe it's an interesting idea to explore.
Yeah, it suggests a connection between these unexplained events and the natural world.
Exactly, and maybe the answer to the UFO mystery isn't just up in the stars, but also right here under our feet.
Now that's a thought-provoking idea. We've just scratched the surface of this topic, but before we go deeper into the possible connection between UFOs and the Earth, let's take a step back and think about the bigger picture. Okay, so we've covered a lot about the Sheffield UFO incident and all those unexplained things in South Yorkshire. It's more than just lights in the sky, right? It makes you think about history, science, and even what it means to be human.
It really does. It makes us question what we think is possible, what we really know, and maybe even our place in the universe.
So as we wrap up, I want you to imagine something.
Okay.
You're back in Sheffield in 1965. It's that March evening, and there's this thing in the sky, something you can't explain.
Right.
What are you feeling? What's going through your mind?
I think I'd be amazed and confused, maybe even a little scared.
Yeah, that mix of emotions.
Seeing something so strange, so different from anything you understand would definitely change you.
That's what I think is so captivating about these stories. The pull of the unknown, but also the possibility of danger.
It's a tension that's always been there for humans. We're curious about the universe, but also worried about what we might find.
And South Yorkshire, with all these UFO reports, it's like a magnet for people looking for answers.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why does this place keep drawing people in?
Well, there are so many reports from people you'd believe.
Right, people you trust.
And the whole Cold War thing makes it even more interesting. Like maybe there were secrets being kept?
And the landscape itself, those hills and fields, it just feels mysterious.
Yeah, it's easy to imagine something strange happening there.
As we finish up, what are the most important things to remember about the Sheffield UFO incident and all these unexplained events?
Be skeptical, but keep an open mind.
Right. Don't believe everything you hear, but don't dismiss things just because they sound weird.
Exactly. The universe is huge and complicated, and we're always learning new things.
That's a great point. It's all about finding that balance between questioning things and being open to new ideas.
Don't forget, the search is just as important as the answer.
So it's more about the journey than the destination.
Exactly. It's about asking questions, researching, and talking about these things. That's how we learn and grow.
So we should enjoy the process of trying to figure things out.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe one day we'll figure out what's really going on with these UFOs.
It's like a giant puzzle, and we're still putting the pieces together.
That's a good way to put it.
And until then, the mystery continues. I guess that's what makes it so interesting.
It reminds us that we still have so much to learn.
About our world, the universe, maybe even ourselves.
Exactly. It's good to be humbled by the things we don't know, and it makes us want to keep exploring and asking questions.
Well said. I think we've given everyone a lot to think about.
I hope so.
Maybe some people will even start their own investigations into the unknown. So until next time, keep looking up, keep asking questions, and never lose that curiosity that makes us want to solve these mysteries.